Inflation 101. Who raised price? Like, imagine you enter the supermarket, and you saw the bread you used to buy for 1,500 is now 2,500. You're like, who raised the price? And then you go berserk.
A few years ago, this was selling for 120 Naira. Today, it is now 1,200 Naira.
Our market. I was in Lagos some few weeks ago. Something I bought for 11.5. Yesterday when I called back, they were telling me 14,000 Naira.
Nigerian inflation, the silent in your pocket, the thief you cannot see. As in, you can't see that thief, but it shows up, moves stuff. Have you ever felt like your salary is vanishing before your eyes, leaving you wondering what happened? That bag of rice you used to buy easily now feels like a luxury investment. Filling your generator or car tank is like pouring pure gold. You see a headline, like inflation hits 22%. Okay, 22% means like, for instance, you were buying something for 100 Naira before. Now you buy for 122 Naira. That 22, who put them there? And you ask yourself, how does this concern me? It concerns you deeply. It's quietly emptying your pocket every day. No mercy at all. That thief is inflation. It's when prices of goods and services rise steadily. So your hard-earned Naira buys less than before. Like you used to buy jollof rice and chicken, and you even have some change. Barely covers the rice. But this isn't a minor price jump. It's a full economic storm shaking Nigeria's foundation. Today, we'll break down with clarity, no jargon, just real insights. We'll examine the numbers that don't lie, the forces driving it, who it's hitting hardest, and what sharp people can do to fight back. Let's decode this inflation beast like a conversation with your informed cousin over suya or pepper soup. Inflation isn't new in Nigeria. It's like a persistent issue our leaders can't fully address. In simple terms, it happens when too much money chases too few goods, driving prices up. Imagine one guy has a nice sneakers back in uni, and a lot of people want that sneakers, but it's just 4 of them. Then the guy realizes that, this thing is 5K, now I can sell it 10K because all of them want it. So too much money is driving that good. But in Nigeria, it's a multi-headed monster with several factors combining to hit everyone. Number 1, currency devaluation. We're heavily import dependent, bringing in everything from phones and cars to factory machinery, everything. When the Naira weakens against the dollar, import costs explode. It's a vicious cycle. It's just a go, they come, one way. A weak Naira fuels inflation, and inflation weakens the Naira further. It's like a hidden tax making everyone poorer without notice, because you don't know when it creeps up on you. Politicians often blame global events. But the IMF has noted that Nigeria's inflation is largely driven by our own policy choices. For years, we've financed government deficits by printing more money, the classic recipe for this mess. Too much cash, not enough production. Second, fuel subsidy removal. It may have been necessary for national finances, but removing it abruptly was a shock. Petrol prices tripled, affecting cars, generators, and businesses. This didn't stop at the pump. It rippled through the economy. Transport costs from farms to market surged, and sellers passed it on to consumers. And you know what that means? They pass it on to consumers. It's like the government said, let's save money, but we're paying the real price with our last kobo. Third, insecurity. The unseen killer. In agriculture heartlands, bandits and conflicts have driven farmers off their land, disrupting planting and making transport dangerous. This creates food shortage that no central bank policy can fully fix. Until farms are secure, our food prices will stay high. This isn't just a policy failure, it's a systemic issue starving the nation, meaning not be from one side. Now the way everything take join together, they move, that cause that failure. And don't overlook homegrown problems. We don't produce enough. Relying on oil exports to fund import leaves us vulnerable when oil prices drop. It's a dependency trap. Compared with Vietnam, they became, a manufacturing powerhouse, producing phones and clothes for the world. Us, that's what they do, still exporting crude and importing refined products. It's almost comical, but far from funny. Global factors like the Ukraine war and COVID aftershocks add pressure, but the core is domestic. Politicians promise it will get better, but years later, inflation keeps rising, outpacing sub-Saharan neighbors. This storm won't end without bold action. Let's talk numbers real quick. This don't lie. Straight from NBS, and experts. NBS, let me tell you what NBS is. National Bureau of Statistics. What do they do? They're the Nigerian's official data wizards. Imagine a giant office full of number crunchers. They look numbers, they're counting everything from how many bags of rice we eat to unemployment in Nigeria. They're like the country's scorekeeper. They count everything, providing credible stats so we don't even guess our way through crisis. They count almost anything. As of the latest report in June 2024, overall inflation is hovering around 22%. I think I tried to explain what 22% is earlier. Yeah, you can scroll back. Down a touch from previous month. But don't celebrate. Food inflation, which hits family hard, is up nearly 22%. Core inflation, excluding the volatile food and energy, has climbed to almost 23%. These numbers dance around. Over the past decade, this upward trend has steadily eroded wealth. Look at the CPI basket. CPI stands for Consumer Price Index. And the basket is basically a shopping list of everyday stuff Nigerians buy, like food, fuel, clothes, even transport. And that's how they measure inflation, by tracking price changes in this basket over time. Is that simple enough? In Nigeria, more than half of it is food and drinks. That's the weight of hunger. Any flood, bad road, or insecurity triggers a national crisis. Poverty rates have jumped to over 54%. 54%, meaning more than half of us are poor by 2024 projections. SMEs are suffering as costs rise and sales fall. This starts a wake-up call. Inflation isn't abstract. It's stealing our future. So how is this hitting on the ground? Now, let's ground this in everyday life, because these numbers aren't just data. They're bleeding people dry. For households, inflation is a daily battle. Families are cutting portions. 1 in 7 eats less to survive. Your savings, if any, are worthless. Money saved last year buys half as much today. It's an impossible choice. School versus Gary. Can you imagine a family choosing between school or Gary? Your cousin in Aba is dodging challenges, but even with budgeting, prices outpace them. In Lagos, that Okada rider hustling from dawn sees fuel costs eat half of their income, forcing skipped meals. Rural areas are worse. Poverty has hit 75%, meaning that if there are 1,000 people in rural areas, 750 of them taken. And there you have floods, insecurity, dropping farm outputs. So tomatoes used to be 500, now they cost 1,500. SMEs, you know what that is. Small and medium enterprises. They're the backbone. They're being crushed. These are the hustlers of the economy. These are businesses that have between 10 or 199 employees. And their assets has become between 5 million to 500 million. Did I confuse you there? I don't think so. Businesses that have like 10 people, 15 people, 20 people, max like 199. And the entire asset of the business, meaning the whole value of the entire business and everything, they make like maybe like 5 million, enter like 100, 200. Those are small, medium enterprises. Not the big corporations like Dangote, but your local tailor, tech startup, or provision store. They're the real MVPs. They're the backbone of this country. They're employing 84% of the workforce. You have an idea what 84% is, right? 84% meaning that out of, say, 100, these SMEs, they employ 84, right? Raw materials, diesel for generators, and rent are all up. Customers have less to spend, so sales plummet. Forgive my big grammar, but plummet means to drop sharply and suddenly. It doesn't drop like this. It drops, bam, like a stone thrown into the Atlantic. How can a business grow or hire? The result, closures and rising unemployment. Think of a tailor shop in the market importing fabrics. Importing fabrics costs more, but clients bargain harder because their pockets are dry. It's a vicious loop. You'd feel it more. Tech layoff, startup struggle, no job security. Social media is full of memes like Naira versus dollar around 100. Not even fighting. But behind the laughs is real pain. This inflation widens the gap. The rich hedge with dollars. The poor suffer silently. It's not just economic, it's a social time bomb that could explode without action. All right, what's the game plan and what's the insight in these things? What are sharp people doing? Here's what sharp people, waiting that they do. No waiting for government miracles. First, rigorous budgeting. Track every kobo. Cut waste. Cut waste precisely. Use apps and spreadsheet. Not spreadsheet. That's for big bros then. Generally, just cut your cost. Turn small savings into a shield. Others hedge. Well, hedge doesn't mean bush in your compound. In finance, hedge means a smart move to protect your money from losses, like buying insurance for investment. If you think the Naira might weaken, you hedge by putting cash in dollars or gold. So if one falls, the other rises to balance. Invest in agriculture, farmland or produce. As food prices rise, so does value. Gold is a traditional safe haven, against falling Naira. A lot of people do this. A lot of women do this. A lot of people know this already. It preserves wealth steadily. But I can understand. You don't even have money to buy the gold in the first place. So let's do that for the higher side. Some explore crypto, but it's a high risk. Boom and bust. No guarantees. Community is also key. Form cooperatives to buy food in bulk cheaply. Humble yourself. Call your guy. Call your people. Call your neighbor. Let's buy that goat together. Let's buy pepper together. You always get a better deal. Start side hustles like online gigs or skill training, learn digital marketing or coding. Nigerian youths are turning to freelance platforms, earning dollars to beat devaluation. Businesses pivot. SMEs source locally to avoid imports and share resources like generator. On the government side, the CBN raises rates to cool money supply. We'll treat this in another video, but it needs better coordination. No more deficit printing of sharp ones advocate. Join campaigns for farm security and production boost. Look at Vietnam's model. They built factories. We can too with supportive policies. It's empowerment. Don't be a victim. Drive the change. With these strategies, you can navigate the storm and emerge stronger. So what does the road ahead look like? Inflation isn't just a headline. It's the chain holding Nigeria back from its true potential. Like person tie you chain for ways they hold you back. But if we produce our way out, secure farms, build factories, and coordinate policies, things can improve. Now, you will finally understand this country. So besides this video you're watching, you can also read a quick article version of today's topic or swipe through our amazing Instagram carousel that breaks it down in seconds. If you want more, we built an interactive web analysis so you can explore. For the geeks, you can explore facts and numbers by yourself. And if you're a real nerd, okay, that's good. You can dive into our deep dives. Every Newsense episode comes from extensive research, the kind that could take you days or weeks to go through on your own. And we've made it available on PDFs, available for you to download, all on our website, popcentraltv.com. I'm Yinka Obebe, and I do this every day. Catch Newsense on Popcentral TV, DStv 189, and follow us on YouTube. It's on YouTube as well, Popcentral TV, TikTok, Instagram, X, for more vibes. Explore the stories, dive into the data, keep the conversations going. Drop your questions. There's something you want me to explain? I'm ready to do that. Stay sharp.
Just so you know, this is for information only and not advice. Some details or policies might have changed by the time you're watching this.